Sikitimi satu mama kusishile emveni kwetu jana lokukula kancinci safiki sikitimi satu mama hage emveni kwetu jana lokukula kancinci mna bendibanda konwabisa bendibanda kusebenzela bendibanda kubonisa imisebenzi yezandla zakho mama bendibanda konwabisa bendibanda kusebenzela bendibanda kubonisa imisebenzi kodwa hamba mama hamba mama hamba hamba mama hamba sobonana kwelisa yo hamba mama hamba gigeni mama wamba Satu mama kusishila emveni kwetu jana lokukula kancinci safiki sikitimi satu mama akaseko emveni kwetu jana lokukula kancinci mna bendibanda konwabisa bendibanda kusebenzela bendibanda kubonisa imisebenzi yezandla zakho mama bendibanda konwabisa bendibanda kusebenzela bendibanda kubonisa imisebenzi kodwa hamba mama
oh Mandisi Jantis hamba hamba mama. We're dedicating that song to the thousands and thousands of women who have been murdered in this country, particularly by those who claim to love them. We, of course, we're here not here on Women's Day, but we want to say to all the women of South Africa, Happy Women's Day, if it's relevant, because it's no longer clear that a Women's Day can be happy. If you look at the statistics, just the statistics of the last 3 months, right? 1,135 women murdered just in the last 3 months. Murdered probably by those who claim to love them, their life partners. And 1,800 attempted murders. So you can just imagine what happened there. This is pure assault and intimidation. But the other contact crimes, which include assault, GBH, you name it, 1,200, in fact, 18,000, pardon me, 18,474 assault with grievous, with intention of grievous bodily harm. And of course, this is outside the statistics of rape, which touches 10,000 in 3 months. And I think that the problem with South Africa is that we have become numb to these statistics. That's why I thought, let's remind each other about these statistics. And that underline the fact that the women of South Africa are having a raw deal. They are having a raw deal, and they are having more than a raw deal. In fact, they've got to worry as they step out of their comfort zone. Then they step out of their home, they've got to worry because somebody can be out to assault them. But what's worse is that they don't even have to step out of their homes, because here you got 1,135 murders of women killed by their partners. And what's interesting is that in South Africa, we wait, there must be an incident, you know, of Mukwechana there in the post office, or Miss Mukwena there whose boyfriend hung them while they were pregnant, or there was another fellow who bent somebody into a dustbin. And then there's an outrage, just a temporary outrage when that happens. And you'd recall that the last outrage of this nature got women marching to the union buildings. They marched to the union buildings to say, President, what are you going to do about this? Then the president, you know, got into action after being shocked, as usual, shocked into action to call a big summit, and then further shocked into action to put aside R1 billion for what is called now a strategic plan on gender-based violence. Okay? So something must happen first. A big femicide case that's made, you know, popular, or maybe some famous person or a daughter of some famous person disappears, and then you'll see a temporary action that is meant just to quell just a little bit of the outrage. So the one running, here's R1 billion, keep quiet. And then a year after that, COVID struck. What was the first thing to go? The R1 billion that was meant for the NGOs who are actually fighting gender-based violence, who now have to scrap from the bottom of the barrel to fund what is called shelters and what have you. So that is what you could call structural oppression. I'm told if you were an activist in the 80s, they used to say women are triple oppressed. Now they add a layer of institutional oppression. Then they are oppressed 4 times. Because despite that, the ANC and its alliance partners, I'm only talking to the alliance partners tonight, the former SACP, although that they brag that 50% of all our leaders are women, it doesn't show, man. It doesn't show in the statistics. It looks like the position of women in society, in the economy, has gotten worse. Has gotten worse. We've had at least 3 speakers, or if not 4, of parliament who are women. But go and count in one hand laws that firm up the fight against gender-based violence. Or just the fight to just put gender issues on the agenda. It's been 30 years. You know, you'd recall that the president made a song and dance about a new condom. The condom is nice, it doesn't make noise. So they actually went out of their way to make sure there's condoms in every bathroom in the country. And then they changed it. So they are dealing with the fact that this doesn't smell nice. So let's make another one. But in the meantime, there are girl children who can't go to school because they are on their periods. Did we have even a law, despite that there's 50% of legislators are women, a law that says, no, if you can buy so many condoms lying around, which, by the way, have not been effective if you look at the statistics of HIV infections and so on. So you can't throw money at everything. But the kids who are at a designated level of kids who are in high school, I'm sure those people are not millions, man. Why can't those people be given just a right to have sanitary rights and menstrual health? No. That's going to be too expensive. Kanaba says the people who are wasting money every year. The Auditor General tells us 50, 60 billion rand wasted every year at all levels of government. But the same people say, hey, I want to tell you, and the women have made sure that thing holds sway. Because if all the women, 50% of them in parliament, insisted that should happen, it would have happened by now. But they didn't insist. They did not insist. Anyway, so that's the first part of it. The second part is, because we are a patriarchal society, former Deputy President Lamonuka saying, in fact, if men were were going through menstruation. That thing could have been law centuries ago. And she's right. Men are the culprits. And the issue is that I know that I'm sure you have heard this from me before, but it doesn't matter. The situation hasn't changed. Men are in a conspiracy of silence. That's why there are so many people. These people are killed by men largely. Maybe one or two killed by a woman. But these numbers that says 1,100 women were murdered by men. Yet there is a conspiracy of silence because it doesn't start with murder. It starts with a clap. It starts with a clap. It starts with you saying to your friends, yeah, you are delela lomfaz, obomushapa, and then your friends don't call you to order. That's part of the conspiracy of silence. People who are women bashers are still holding their heads high, and we know them in the industry, in various industries, in the media industry, in the entertainment industry, in schools. I mean, in schools, I don't even want to talk about it. These are men who impregnate 15-year-olds. Show me one who's been arrested for statutory rape. You look for them like a needle in a haystack. And I'm not saying many. I'm just saying one person in orange overalls. This person has raped a 13-year-old in that school. And then the Minister of Health and whoever and police will come, and tell you there were 99,000 rapes in schools of teenagers. And then they end there. They didn't investigate. So they're telling me that in the 99,000 rapes that has taken place in one province like Limpopo, they couldn't find one culprit they could prosecute. No, just not one. And then we come down and we say, it's Women's Month. And then the men will be the first ones on the line with song and dance, with speeches about, hey, Mbokodo, hey, a woman is a rock, and what have you. But they fail just to get one solitary culprit and say this person must go to prison because they slept with a 13-year-old and impregnated that person. So don't tell me about Women's Month. Can we see some action? Can we see this government taking some action? Can we see the police hunting down, out of the 99,000, the scope is big, man. One province has 99,000 teenage pregnancies of kids under 15. Can you find just one solitary person, the orange overalls, successfully? Then we'll take you serious that issues of gender are on your agenda. But at the moment, we don't take that serious. If you go and read that strategic plan on a gender-based, it's a failure. It's not a failure because I say so. It's a failure because here are the numbers that have kept increasing since 2021. 900 people were murdered. The following year, 1,100. Now, 110. The trend is upward. And it's upward, but we are tired of it. We are numb to it. And these statistics no longer mean anything. It's just Sodom and Gomorrah all the way.